All right, all right. We are continuing today with our five-part series on the top free tools to use to run your marketing. And in this episode, we are talking about all things organization, a topic near and dear to my heart. These are going to be the best organizational tools to manage all the everything's behind the scenes, front and forward, all the things to keep your business organized, in check, and moving forward. I'm Janae.
And I'm Brooke, and this is the Big Bad Marketing Podcast, where we help business owners build with intention and organization and clarity, and where we help you use all the free things first.
Oh,
Let's
let's
do
do this.
this. This is the last stop. Here we are. 5 episodes, 5-part series. You made it.
Well done, business owner listener. We're so excited you're here.
Yeah. And at this point, you're like, wow, I have totally dialed in my email list, my social media, my analytics and AI tools, and my website. So now tell me what else I can do to get my business together.
Yeah, get my things in shape and working for me instead of the other way around, which is so often what we run into is folks are like, I'm running this business. And we're like, really? Or is it running you?
Yeah. Or just
JK. Never said
these,
that before.
or just the fact that we talk to a lot of business owners and so many people. Well, it just feels scattered. It just feels messy. It just feels like,
Unorganized.
yeah, disorganized. Like things are missing. Like I can't come up with things when I need
Mm,
them. Like balls are being dropped and things are not getting done because they're in my notebook and they're never making it
mm,
outside of this physical pen and paper. And a lot of
disjointed.
times, yeah, it's a breakdown in communication. And if you are a solopreneur, maybe you don't have this experience, but if you work with anyone else or you have a small team, you might find that communication and actually sharing things amongst your team and where you store things and how you access documents is like a real hindrance to being able to effectively run your business.
Totally. And I think to the point of like you've made it this far, you're getting a bunch of tips on how to do things. Thinking about organization and frameworks and workflows and structures and like alphabetizing or whatever it is that helps you feel organized, folders and this and that. Like it tends to be the very last thing that a lot of the folks we're talking to are ever even thinking about as ways to help them better run their business. And often, I know this is being presented as the last episode, but often these types of organizational systems and operations are like the first thing that Brooke, you and I will come in and diagnose a situation and be like, hey, a lot of this will be absolved if we just create some organization in your process, right? Like, yes, let's set up a Google Drive and let's put folders together that are clearly labeled and organized and put different pieces in each one so that every time you need to find it, there it is. And it's not like scrolling back in your download history by the last 3 months and searching by a keyword and then it's like these types of structures go such a long way in helping create a sustainable, intentional business experience.
Oh, yeah. And I think this was maybe a couple months ago now, but we were talking to a client and we introduced the idea of, oh, well, is there a place where you store all of your content? Is there like a single folder where you dump in videos and photographs and things so that
Mm.
you have sort of this content hub? And it just blew their minds. And it was like, oh my gosh, that would make life so much easier to just have all this content in one place instead of in text messages and on your phone and on my phone. And it's a
Oh,
mess.
yeah.
It's a mess out
Oh,
there.
yeah. And as you're saying that, Brooke, I'm like, okay, we are like a full-on marketing agency. We do all the stuff. We will do your marketing. We're also like consultants, advisors, coaches. Like there's so many ways that we show up in this space to help people run their business, market, get more eyes on what they're doing, make more sales, all these things. But sometimes I kind of laugh to myself thinking like we are also just like professional organizers. Like there's so many ways where we come in and we're just like, "Oh, okay, you just need to sort through your emails because you have 12,000 unopened emails and many of them are coming from prospects and you didn't follow up. Oh my God. And then we proceed to like secretly rip our hair out because we're like, how could you do this? You're sabotaging your own business. But then we actually show up with like, okay, here's the plan and this is the step-by-step approach we're going to take and we're just going to organize it. And that's the way to get out of what can feel like a muddled mess, or maybe more often than just a muddled mess is the like, I didn't build structures in the first place, and now I know I need to go back and do that. And so I knew I didn't have them then, and I still know now, but now it's time to create them because I'm having some success and I want to keep it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're the analogy person and you come up with great analogies. So I'm going to take a swing at one real quick. And
Ooh.
if it falls flat, that's not my fault. So it's like the business owner will come to us and say, "Well, I don't have anything to make for dinner." And then we go and we open up the pantry and we're like, "Wow, there's a ton of food in here." But it's all over the place and nothing is in the same areas. So when you look at it, you're just seeing a mess. And we're seeing, oh, well, there's black beans over here and back there, way wedged in the corner, that's a bag of rice. And then there's some, you know, corn over here. And now we've sort of got the fixins to start making some kind of Mexican bowl. And then we're like, okay, you know what? Let's dump everything out of this pantry and then let's be the professional organizers that we are. And let's put everything in here in a way that it makes sense. So when you look at it, you can say, oh, yeah, I'm just going to grab
I
these three
did buy that jar of
things.
salsa. I
Yes.
forgot.
Yeah. And now here it is, and it's somewhere where I can see it. So we are here to
Also,
help you organize your pantry.
and your life.
Yes. And your
Also,
business.
I'm like, there's spoiler alert slash like reality check. We are definitely going to pick up these moldy onions that you inadvertently you bought and you put them in the pantry and then they've now become moldy and spoiled. Like we are going to come and throw things out and be like, cut this. We don't want this. This is expired. Like this is not going to work with it. But that is like, let's take it to another analogy. That is like, trimming in the garden. And that is like getting a haircut. Like it seems counterintuitive to growth, but also it's the exact thing that's going to help your hair grow longer is taking care of it and what we call in the garden world, weeding the garden, right? Like, and what's the other word for it?
Another word for weeding.
No, like another word for when you cut things back in the garden and that helps them grow more.
I don't know. I can't
Well,
come up
that's
with
what we're
it.
gonna do. I will remember that word by the end of this podcast recording. So, listener, if you listen to our last episode, you know that we're gonna bury something super cool and secret and a special offer just for you at the end of this episode, and it might be cloaked in the word for trimming back your garden, if I remember it. Okay, totally
Okay,
off the
I feel like we
rails.
are way off the rails.
Let's take
Let's
this analogy back to reality.
Hey, if you like analogies and it resonates with you the way that we are explaining things right now, then you will love the Big Bad Marketing newsletter. Go ahead and sign up, bigbadmarketing.com/newsletter, and we share things that are funny but also tactical. And sometimes it's nestled into a really nice analogy. Sometimes it goes a couple analogies deep, like Inception analogies. You just
Oh.
never know what you're going to get. So go ahead and sign up for the newsletter. Stay in touch. We'll come to your inbox once a month, something cool and awesome. So now, without further ado, what are these masterful organization tools that we are talking about today, Janae?
Oh, these are all of the systems that are going to help you get your business shit organized and be able to track things, make sure that you're following through, and create repeatable processes. So every time you're doing something, it's not like the first time you're doing it and having to dig it up from the bottom of a pile and scratch your head and remember. So let's start with our number one. I'm going to call this a suite of tools, which is Google Drive. This is the place where I'm like, I can't think of a day that's gone by when I'm like working that I don't use this somehow. In fact, even the notes that we create before our podcast episodes, like right now that I'm referring to, are in a Google document. So Google Drive is going to have your Google Documents, like a word processor. It's going to have Google Sheets, which is basically your Excel. It's a spreadsheet. And then it's got forms. We love that for like creating surveys. Also, it just has like your Drive, which is folders where you can store videos and content and things that you've shared with other people and templates and PDFs and all kinds of stuff. So if you don't already have one, get a Google Drive set up and then start to access these different tools. But these are the way that like live and die by our Google Drive and operate so many pieces of our business. This is central hub. It's the headquarters. It is the queen bee of our business.
Yes, and if you already have a an email account that ends in at gmail.com, then you have a Google Drive. So when you log into that email account on a browser, you're going to see in the upper right hand corner by your little initial and whatever color is behind it, you're going to see 9 dots. And if you click those 9 dots, one of the options is going to be Google Drive. So that is inherent in a Gmail account, free Gmail account. You get all access to all the tools. If you are a business and you have a business account like we do, where our emails are at bigbadmarketing.com, then you might have a Google Workspace, in which case you are also going to have access to a drive. So it's all associated with a particular email address, access to these tools. We love Google for a ton of things. Google is like ubiquitous. They make things so stinking easy. As always, if it's free, you are the product. Probably wouldn't put any super sensitive data into Google Sheets and things. Like, always be mindful when you're putting sensitive data places. But like you're saying, Janae, this is the central hub of our business. We are constantly sharing Drive folders with clients, telling them, go ahead and upload things for our review. This is the easiest way to get with us. We can comment on documents, and in real time, our clients can see them. It is so stinking easy. And coming from corporate world where everything was Microsoft and you had to buy like the suite of Microsoft services and you had to renew it every year, and granted, it wasn't a lot. I remember as an individual when I was freelancing, I had to buy it and it was like $80 a year or something, but still, it's an expense on your bottom line that you don't need when
Don't
you
need
can
it.
use all the Google things for free.
Not only that, it's like I actually really appreciate the like user friendliness, the integratedness that it has with real time changes. And like you said, both of us, in fact, like it's not only for sharing things back and forth in an asynchronous way, like here's this document, it's stored in our folder, you can check it out when you're ready to pull it off the shelf. It's like, hey, let's both jump in on this document at the same time right now and start editing it or changing it in real time. And we're both like in there adding things to a spreadsheet or changing the document, and we can like see each other hanging out, and then we start poking at each other, and it's fun. It's great.
It's great. So, another point on internal communication, and a tool that we love and use the free version of, is Slack. And if you come from any kind of tech software background, you are probably familiar with Slack. Most tech companies that I have worked for use it. And it is sort of like a Microsoft Teams, or what's the other one? There's another popular messaging tool, though I'd say Teams is probably the most comparable. And you can have a bunch of different channels that can help to categorize your internal communications, because in the earliest days of Big Bad Marketing, we were doing a lot of stuff via email. We were doing a
Oof.
lot of stuff
Text
over
messages.
text messages. And then it's like, oh my gosh, when did we talk about that thing for that one particular client? And when did we talk about that thing for
Oh
the
yeah.
podcast? And where is that message? And it got so messy. So we introduced Slack. And now we have a channel for darn near everything, right? We have a channel for the podcast. We've got a channel for meeting agendas. We have a channel for every single client that we service. We have a channel for networking and the plans in that area. We have a channel for events. We have a channel for travel. Like, there's a channel for everything. And it is so easy to see the conversation that we need when we need it, because we just know, oh, if we were talking about the podcast, that is in the podcast channel. Like, Slack is a game changer. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, and I think the name is so ironic to call it Slack when I'm like, that's actually where like so much work gets done and so much collaboration gets done. And I can also imagine, We are so lucky, and I don't think I've said this on a podcast recently, but I just feel so grateful to work with you and like that we get to share so much time together, like face to face and in these weird digital realms and also online because some days we don't like meet on a Zoom call, but we talk just all day in different channels. And I love it. So thank you. And
Heard. Same.
yay. Yeah, but the my point is some people don't have the luxury of having another person that they're working with. But I can still imagine Slack being such a valuable tool for yourself to keep track of conversations you've had, to keep track of ideas, progress on different items, like things you're in the process of moving forward, all kinds of stuff. Documents, send them to yourself is totally fine. Use Slack, whoever you are. Business owner, listener, you need Slack. Don't slack off, just use Slack.
Yeah. Slack is one of my absolute favorite tools for work, period. All right, Janae, what's another kind of in more of the realm of project management?
Okay, well, actually, I just want to take a pause and say another tool that is really integral to the functioning of our relationship and our business and the sustainability and intentionality and integrity of our business is coffee. Just want to give you a big shout out to coffee. You keep us moving
Not free.
forward. Not free, but also invaluable. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. That was just a quick ad. That was a sample of what a sponsored ad on our podcast would sound like. So, coffee brand listener, we want you. We want to advertise you. But we would only advertise things we actually like coffee. They don't even need to sponsor us. We just shout them out.
There you go.
Anyways, I think the next thing I just kind of alluded to this one, but it's Zoom. We do tons of video calls back and forth. We get to look at each other's faces. In case you don't know, we're a bit of a distributed duo. So we live in cities that are far apart and we don't feel like it because we get to talk to each other and look at each other and each other's dogs and drink coffee together and laugh together and cry together and see each other's beautiful faces all the time and love Zoom for that. There's a free tier where you get it's like a 40 or 45-minute session and then it's like a bit annoying and clunky. You got to like log out and log back in or it ends the meeting and then you just got to sign back in. But it's very usable if you're not ready to or don't see the value yet in investing intentionally into Zoom. Totally fine. The other feature of using Zoom, aside from just getting to talk to your big bad business bestie all the time, is to work with with clients and prospects and network and have virtual, visual, digital calls with other people you might be doing business with. You can schedule calls in advance and share the links. Like lots of easy to use features in Zoom and it makes having meetings from the comfort of your own kitchen or office or a library or a coffee shop very easy.
Yes. And so we used the free version of Zoom for an extremely long time, and it was great. And you will
Since
notice that
COVID
in
started.
the earliest days of our podcast, our Zoom, or excuse me, our podcast episodes were all under about 40 minutes. And there's a reason for that because we were getting cut off in Zoom. So we got to a point where we said, you know what? We need to talk to clients for 60 minutes, and it has the added benefit of allowing us to ramble on endlessly on our podcast and not be beholden to a silly, nonsensical 40-minute, though this episode will be less than 40 minutes, I promise you. So it was dual purpose that we decided to upgrade, but like we always say, use all the free things first and only upgrade when you need to. So we used Zoom for a long time. We validated that we liked it. We validated that it was the right tool for the things that we were doing. And then we decided to upgrade.
Okay, a few things here. I think that the crux of our issue actually had a lot less to do with our video, our podcast episodes being more than 40 minutes, which it was also true. But it's because we get on a call and we just ramble and gab and talk and chit chat and catch up for like 2 hours before we actually get to the thing that we scheduled the Zoom meeting for.
That's so
And
true.
Zoom doesn't know that we're like chatting and not recording it for our, whatever. So we just kept getting kicked out after 40 minutes. We're like, we haven't even started talking about the podcast episode because we're talking about coffee and dogs. That's my memory of that experience.
Maybe.
So yeah, there's that. Um, Okay, and then the other thing I want to say is there's also a tool that fits with the Google Drive suite, which is Google Meet. And that is another option, and it's an alternative where you can create video calls and have video chats with people. You can use that to meet with clients. You can use that to meet with your big bad business bestie. You can use that to network. There's a lot of options. I think where we ran into challenges using that, because that's totally free, is that you're not able to record it.
Yep, correct.
So then y'all would not be able to hear our beautiful voices talking about all this business nonsense and rambling and giving you weird metaphors.
Correct.
That's
You'd
it.
miss all of that. So we had to use Zoom for that.
Okay, also, I know I just did a shout out about coffee, but now I want to give a pause here for if you've made it this far and you're still listening because you're like, I need to hear what is that gardening word? Janae said it was going to pop back into her mind. And I want to tell you, business owner listener, that is a very sustainable, intentional choice you're making because I remembered it and it's pruning your garden.
Pruning.
Pruning. So if you have made it
Oh.
this far and you send us an email with the subject line prune, prune your garden, I'm making this up right
Pruning.
now.
Yeah, just say pruning.
Prune, prune, prune. Then we will do a website audit for you. How about that? I don't know, or we'll do something for you. Just send us an email with prune and we'll start a conversation.
And the
How
name
about
of your
that?
business and your website, and we'll come back with something awesome. You won't regret it.
If you don't send us those things, then we will have to do some sleuthing to figure out who you are and why you sent us the word prune.
And that might be fun too. So, hello at bigbadmarketing.com, subject line prune, and something's going to happen and you're going to get to interact with us, and that will be fun for you. Promise.
Yeah, yeah, we're going to help you prune the organizational weeds of your business, the operational weeding that needs to happen in your garden of your business. Okay,
Absolutely.
back to this. I think one of our final favorite free organizational tools to help you operate your business better.
Yeah. So, project management is a big thing for most businesses. And if you are a service based business like ours, you might have clients. Those clients might have meetings. Those clients might have problems. Those clients might have things that you are working on, deliverables that you need to get to them, ongoing projects. And so, you need a project management tool. So, Trello and Notion are two of our favorite tools for basic tracking and project management. And actually, before we moved to Slack, we used Trello boards to manage our internal task list at Big Bad Marketing. And we've kind of transitioned away from that. And now we use Slack for those conversations and sort of the ongoing things. But yeah, free project management tools all the way. A lot of times you can get up to, I think, Trello had at the time that we last used it up to maybe 10 boards
Hmm.
for free. And
Yes.
that seemed like a good limit where we weren't really in danger of hitting it, especially when we transitioned to one board for all the client stuff. So that really opens you up in a way.
You mean when we were organized about the way that we were using the tools for
Yes.
organization?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And super fun feature in Trello that I loved that we did was you could assign like little pictures to the boards,
Mm-hmm.
like wallpapers to each of the boards. So we would have different ones that this is super goofy and silly, but like silly pictures that matched whatever the board was about. So there was one of like tax considerations and like financial things that we needed to track. So we had like a bunch of dollar bills as the wallpaper thing. So who's to say when you're organizing things, it can't also be silly and fun?
Because it can be.
It can be.
Yeah. And so another general tool that we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't mention it in every single episode here is Canva. And Canva can help you do basic things like create a PDF for your invoicing or get you organized by putting some of your internal processes in pretty guides that you can then download and drop into your Google Drive folders. Like Canva is just that all around tool that can help you with organization, help you with internal tasks and projects, and generally help you be more efficient.
Okay, at this point, I'm kind of wondering if you're like a spy for Canva because I do agree it's great, but you're right. We've just mentioned it in every single episode, and somehow it's always you that's bringing up Canva.
I do get paid every time I mention Canva. I actually get $1 million. So I'm going to retire now.
What is that game where like you watch someone on TV and like if they say something, then everyone takes a drink or something like that?
Yeah. I think
Have
that's
you heard
just
of
a
that?
drinking game. Yeah.
Maybe there's another variation that doesn't have to do with drinking. But I think we could all, if let's say it like this, if I had $1 for every time you said Canva,
You probably have like $5 right now.
yeah, by the end of this episode, I'll have
Yeah.
$5. Say it again. Say it again.
Canva.
Ah!
Okay. Can you tell, listener, that this is the um, fourth episode that we're recording in one day? And
Oh yeah.
by the end of this, things tend to get a little slap happy, a little weird, and that's why we really only try to record two at a time for your sake and for ours. So if you have listened this far, then hopefully you have gotten a lot of value out of all the free tools that we have shared. Use these free tools and the low cost tools and spend your money to do other things for your business. Period.
Love it. Drop the mic. Canva.
Thank you for listening to this series.
An hour delusion.
Yes.
Thank you so much, listener. We're so glad you're here. And cheers to your ongoing, intentional, sustainable business growth success. You got this.
Bam.